Ah,
Whoa.
it's 2021, bitch.
Oh no. Uh,
welcome to
I li-
welcome to the nose in the morning.
I like that it says copyright 2019 still,
Oh, that's a
and it's never
dude.
gonna change.
No, I think it's funny to leave the copyright like that. That's for
Yeah.
those of you listening and not watching on the YouTube version of this. It says copyright 2019 because that was the last time we made visuals for this thing.
That was the last time we recorded a
Probably
podcast. I
probably
guess.
the last time we made an episode too.
Nine months ago.
How do you feel about 2020 being over?
I like 2020. I
Yeah, it
like.
was all right.
It's all the same, right? What
I
about you?
mean, nothing exciting happened.
It's a pretty uneventful year. Is that ringing in the new year?
2021 is soundboard John.
Wait, let's hear what else you got.
Let's
What
see.
you got?
You wanna come visit me? You wanna come to a party with me, Brent?
Yeah, sure.
All right, let's walk inside.
Wait, do you have clapping hands?
Do I have clapping hands? I mean, come on. This is me we're talking about here.
You have a laugh. You have a laugh track.
No, but I got this. Oh yeah. And
Do you think everybody? Because every podcast uses this soundboard.
You think so?
Or a soundboard very, very, very close. It might as well be this soundboard.
Oh, look at that. It's the little nose fairy that just appeared. How are you, nose fairy?
Do you think everyone listening is like, wait, I've heard this episode before?
Yeah, I think so.
Every other podcast.
The more amazing thing is that I've never known what a glockenspiel actually sounds like. And there you go.
Wait,
that's a glockenspiel.
Wait, that's a glockenspiel?
Yeah, I never knew that.
What is a glockenspiel?
It's that.
like one of those little, what are those little colored keyboard kind of style things with like ceramic keys?
Oh, a xylophone? But
you're
talking about like a baby xylophone.
Yes.
Yeah, like my
2-year-old
has one of those.
A xylophone.
Yeah, she's not in the orchestra or anything. She's just a baby.
Does she have a glockenspiel?
No, but we should get one of those because that was delightful. Dude, I cannot wait to get more sound effects.
Wait, you can download sound effects?
Yeah. Come on, man, dude, it's the internet.
Can we clip our podcast and
just add things and add like lots of sound effects to it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we might as well, right?
Pretty soon we won't even have to be here. We'll just get the soundboard.
You just set the sound effects to go.
Yeah. Play through these.
Oh my god. Okay, so the first podcast of 2021, and we have resolved, although New Year's resolutions are bullshit, we have resolved in a way to go back to being regular.
Yeah.
Can we both agree that we're going to do this regularly? Even though we've said that, I think, in the last 4 episodes over the past 8 months.
Yeah, we also said it on Instagram Live the other day that we were going to.
We did it. We did an
this year every Monday.
Yeah, we did an Instagram Live on New Year's Eve, and we actually rang in the new year because that's the kind of year it was. I spent my New Year's talking to Brent on the fucking phone.
And then we agreed that we would podcast and put one out every Monday.
Yeah, which we missed.
And it is Wednesday and we're recording this. Or is it Tuesday?
It's Tuesday.
Okay. When this goes out, it'll be Wednesday.
Oh my god, you're such a goofball.
We need lightning and stuff like that.
Yeah, dude, I'm coming back hard next week with some really good sound effects. Don't you people worry.
Do you have any New Year's resolutions?
No. So
do you do New Year's?
Yeah, this is what we're gonna do. We're coming back. We're coming back hard. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do once a week. Might not be Monday. Might be Wednesday. Might be Thursday. Might be Monday and Monday. Might be Friday and Monday. Might be Sunday and Tuesday. But we're doing it, and we're gonna surprise you guys. This is it's for real. We're gonna make it happen, even when we should be doing work, which is what kept us away in 2020. You know the problem with 2020 was? It was so it was such a mystery of a year that like every single project that came in, we went overtime on, because it was just like we wanted to make sure we got it done. We wanted to make sure we killed it. We wanted to make sure that like we didn't lose it halfway in the middle. We wanted to like hustle and make it happen, because God knows when the world was going to end, you know?
Yeah.
So we were just like, we were working like 24/7 every single day since like February.
That's the thing, is it felt like it went well, but it did feel like that, right? Like you just were grasping, hoping that it didn't end, kind of thing.
It was it was crazy, because it was really busy year, and I feel like everyone who was working from home, I think, felt kind of uncomfortable working from home if they weren't used to working from home. And it was always almost like everybody was like, you want to have a Zoom meeting? You want to do this? You want to make sure that I'm working, you know? And it was just like everybody was on calls all the time. Let's hop on a Zoom real quick. Blah, 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 blah. I spent the majority of my week talking over and over and over and over and over again. I would go to bed with a sore throat because I just like couldn't talk anymore. And then, of course, I thought I had COVID because I was going to bed with a sore throat. And
you definitely had COVID.
Dude, I definitely did. I was like an early adopter. I had that shit in February.
Before it was cool.
Yeah, before it was cool.
Before people were scared of it, I had it.
I had that shit.
And I was scared of it.
I was still going to nightclubs with that thing before it got dangerous. You know what I mean?
I was taking that thing to my family get-togethers.
I thought that thing had
out
a
for
drive.
coffee.
I mean, COVID was the original intern. Forget about Brent. It was COVID the intern first. Oh my God! Imagine if we could do a like quick flashback of like the old podcast, and it was just like me and COVID talking.
What would COVID be saying?
I don't know. Probably like more interesting shit than you. Although check this out. Here's a really interesting thing. The original intern, actual murderer. You, pretend murderer.
Who's killed more?
Probably COVID. It's just strictly for the sheer fact that it seems less lazy than you.
No, I've been super productive last year.
Yeah, but you're not focused. You never focused.
That's my too focused.
No,
I was going to say too. Halfway through, well, not even halfway through, like towards the end of the year.
Yeah.
Like we had talked, and I was like, "Oh, it's going really good." Like I felt like more busy than ever. And it's like the last like month of 2020.
Yeah.
There was like nothing. And I was messaging you. I was like, "Man, this is kind of insane. There's like no work to be done, even though there was like little jobs to be done." But it was like, even though the rest of the year had been so busy, I was like, kind of put me in a weird panic.
Yeah, that's like, what happens. That's what happens. You get those times, and you're just like, "Oh my God, I guess I'm done. I guess I finished graphic design."
Yeah. You know? Now I can go work construction or
I mean, that's the go-to, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I would do.
I mean, what else?
That's what I would do.
Yeah.
If I had to stop working design right now, I think I would try to start a construction company.
What kind of construction?
I truly do. Knowing what I know, because I used to work with my dad. My dad's a contractor, and I used to work with my dad for years. And it was one of those things where it was always fun to work because I was with my dad, and it was just the two of us, and we would just work and get stuff done. It was on our own time. We did whatever we got to do, and we'd go home and whatever. And it was like, good solid days of work. And a lot of shit sucked, like in the winter or whatever, or in the summer when it was super hot and you just like sweat your friggin' ass off. Or it, like, there was one job I remember we did. It was we had to like replace a back door for somebody, and it was like -10 degrees that day. And they're upstairs in the warmth, their home, and we were down in like the lower level where the back door was, and just like the wind and the snow was just like shooting into the house. And I don't drink coffee. So the guy who lived there, he's like, "Oh, can I get you anything?" And I'm like, "I just drink water." So I was like, "Can I get some water?" So he brought me a bottle of water down, and
Get some water.
Yes, within minutes, it like was almost frozen, and I was drinking like the ice cold water in like the negative 10 degrees, and it just felt like ice daggers going down my throat, because I could like feel it freezing inside my body, like while I was drinking it.
This is the one time I'll have like no sympathy for you. you telling me about cold weather. I'm like -10. What the fuck? Were you catching a tan?
It was -10 Fahrenheit, not
No,
-10 Celsius.
Yeah, I know, but you know what I mean.
Border asshole.
I'm like, there's like 4 feet of snow outside right now.
Yeah. Are you gonna go for a 5-mile run in the 4 feet of snow?
Yeah.
How do you do that? What do you wear? Snowshoes?
No, they clear paths.
Yeah, do they? Or do you have to go with like a bunch of like husky dogs?
Mucklucks? Yeah, mucklucks. Take my mucklucks out.
What's a muckluck? Is that like a tennis shoe that you wear on your feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that what they're called?
No. It's a shoe. It's a shoe.
It's not like a racket that you like strap around like your regular boot, like a tennis.
No,
racket.
like snowshoes.
Yeah, is that an actual real thing? Because I've seen that in cartoons, but I don't know if that's true or not.
A snowshoe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Snowshoes are real.
Do you have them?
No.
Did you ever have them?
Yes.
You had like little tennis racket snowshoes.
Me and Aaron are talking about buying snowshoes right now to go hiking. Costco had a deal on them.
Costco has tennis rackets for shoes that you're going to buy, and you had to have a discussion about it? How much do they cost?
I don't know, $60?
$60?
$60, $60, $80.
Seems expensive.
Yeah, they've come a long way since looking like giant like fish shaped nets. Now they're kind of just like hooks almost. Do you know what I mean? Let me get you a picture.
No, I don't want to see. Not interested.
Would you ever go snowshoeing?
No. If there was enough snow for me to go quote snowshoeing, I would quote stay inside and not talk to anybody who's outside quote snowshoeing.
You know what? You could definitely do that here, but then I think just being like locked inside for like it was weird. Like with COVID, it's like I was completely fine staying at home.
Yeah.
Until it got so cold out that like you couldn't really leave without bundling up, and then that starts taking a toll on you, where you're like, you really feel like you can't leave.
This place sucks.
You know? Yeah. Yeah.
Now, my favorite part of COVID so far has been how arrogant the people of Alberta have been for this whole time. And now you guys are getting hit hard with it, and everyone has to stay indoors.
Yeah.
And it's being from New York where we got hit hard first. I'm just like really like enjoying you guys not liking your lockdowns.
You know what? And it's not really enforced like in my city.
Yeah.
But like every other city in Alberta, it's like definitely like, well, it is being enforced here, I suppose, to a degree, but I don't see a lot of people following the rules.
No, there's a lot of rule breakers in Alberta.
Oh yeah.
Everybody wears a leather jacket and rides a motorcycle.
I think I texted you the other day. I got stuck behind a convoy of like protesters.
Oh,
on my way home.
Why?
And what's supposed to be a 20-minute drive took me an hour 20.
Why is this what people are doing? Like, why can't?
Because they have to social distance, but they still have to make a commotion, so they go and like block off highways and stuff like that.
And of course, these are the people that everyone needs to be around, right? Like all these like COVID deniers, of course, are like the most interesting people that everyone wants to hang out with so badly.
Yeah. Oh man, it is. It's so frustrating too. Well, I mean, I just throw on a podcast and then I don't really care.
You know, that's really funny that you bring that up. And actually, it kind of all comes together because of like isolating and shit like that. My podcast archive is deep now because I have no traveling, I have no commuting, I have no. There's no reason for me to get in the car or get on the train or whatever and just go somewhere. So I'm like, I have podcasts, like some of my go-tos are backed up from like May because I have no place or time to listen to them, you know?
I'll listen to like one podcast maybe.
Right.
At a time. But
It'll take me like a
else
week to listen to a podcast, like one episode, whereas like some days I'd knock out like 3.
Yeah, definitely.
It's insane.
And now that like I made a point to like start going out and running again or like doing something during this, and it's like, so I've at least like been able to listen to podcasts by doing that. But
yeah, how's your exercise going?
I pretty much just started.
Yeah, me too. I kind of just started up again too. We were trying to like get it going over the summer, but I didn't have any of this stuff here. I had no weights. I had nothing.
You're building a gym though now.
I did.
Or like yeah. Oh, you did.
I did build a gym. I went for it. I built a gym in the basement, and I'm psyched on it.
So how much did you pay for? You got 2 plates, 2 45-pound plates.
Yeah. Well, I got 240. Well, I had a few plates already because I had like a curling bar, but I didn't have an Olympic bar. I didn't have a squat rack. I didn't have a bench. I didn't have any of that stuff. So I had to buy 245s and 235s.
It's like $10K.
I think I spent about $10,000 or $11,000 for them.
Yeah. Isn't that ridiculous? Like, because when I was buying,
is stupid.
Yeah, and I don't know why that's something that just makes me like extremely angry, and it's like it probably shouldn't because I'd probably do potentially the same thing.
Right.
But why not just continue to like, I don't know. I guess to keep up with demand and things like that, maybe prices have to go up. Or
dude, I'm not even gonna get mad because like, if you like, I bought mine from smaller companies too, and it's just like whatever. You guys want to fucking overcharge me? Like, now's your time to shine. Like, soak it up now because like when everything goes back to normal, and you got to go back to charging like $20 for everything, you know, back to like the tighter margins. So like. I just try to look at it from like their perspective where they're like, hey, we're cashing in now. So it's like, good. At least somebody's cashing in, you know?
Yeah, for like 6 months.
Yeah, like let them cash in until hopefully everybody is forced.
Wait until my gym's done. Yeah. Wait till my gym's done and then no one's ever coming back to buy weights from you guys.
Wait until my gym is done and I am so huge and muscular that I can literally walk around and forcefully jam needles into people's arms so that they can take the vaccine.
Oh, man.
Each one of my arms is going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in his prime.
You know what's crazy is like the first 6 months of this, I did work out.
Yeah.
Or not even the 6 months, like maybe like 3 months where it was like, oh, like I'm taking advantage of like being at home. And then like I'm going to be a better me. Like I'm going to read. Right. I started reading more books. Yep. I literally put a list together of like all the books that I read in like the first 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it was like after 3 months, it's like I didn't work out again. I didn't go for a run. I didn't read a single book. It was just like no longer being productive or trying to.
It was bad, dude. I mean, I tried to like exercise, and with the kids home and everything, it was just like the only time I could exercise is if I brought stuff up into the kitchen. So like I could make sure that the kids were okay, like while I was working out at the same time. So I'd bring some weights up. I would do sit-ups and push-ups and stuff in the kitchen, and like it was it was awful. And it was just like so not like the dog would like walk over and just like lick my face when I was doing sit-ups. And then like at least one kid would like jump on my back or something like that, or like trip over a kettlebell or something like that, you know?
You know what's amazing is exactly that. Is in the beginning I was like doing push-ups and like chin-ups and things like that. And then you kind of reach a point where you're like, what's this doing for me? Like doing push-ups and stuff. But then it's like skip 6 months later where it's like doing 20 push-ups is like, what the fuck? Like how come I can't do 20 push-ups anymore?
I know. It was like, I was like, oh God. Like, yeah, like I'll do like, you know, it's like, I think we've talked about my friend Brian before, who is also my trainer and resident psychopath. He would just be like, he'd be like, knock out like 100 push-ups a day. He's like, you can break them up, do them all in a row, like whatever. And then I would do it. And then I think like after 2 weeks, I was just like, I am not letting my exercise routine escape me. Like I'll be fine. I'll make it through. But like when you're not leaving the house and you're so used to not leaving the house, it literally just like shuts you down and you don't do anything. Like I just sat in this chair for like 24 hours every single day, every day.
Dude, isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
There's more time. I mean, you've always done this, I guess, like worked from home. So there might be like a bit of a better balance. But I feel like even people who worked at home like yourself, like were kind of all of a sudden like, where's the time to do things?
Yeah, it really I lost a lot of time. There was no more routines, like when we used to go to the gym, like my wife and I would go together and it was like a thing that we would do, like a couple days a week we would get up and go and it would be a thing. And my oldest would be in school and sometimes we would take the little one with us, sometimes we get a babysitter or whatever. And it was just like a thing. We'd get out, go, grab some lunch, come home. I would do some phone calls, blah, 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 whatever. Then it's, like there was like these routines that we would go and do things. But now it's just like we barely go food shopping anymore because we're like doing like Instacart and stuff, like just avoiding like widespread kind of like contact with too many people at once. And it's just, there's no reason for me to get up anymore. It's fucking real life Wally.
Why would you lift weights? What are you ever going to lift in your life?
Nothing. I haven't had to lift anything in months.
Yeah.
I can barely lift this. Oh, but check this out, though. I got this pencil.
Oh, is that the 2mm?
It's the Mitsubishi Uni that you recommended I get. That's the one. I got a brown one. Why is yours red?
Yours is newer.
Oh, because I got the new version?
You got the new one.
This shit sucks.
Now, is it plastic or is it metal?
I can't tell. If it's metal, it's thin.
Okay, because I was looking on eBay.
It's pretty nice.
And these like 2mm drafting pencils.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy is the really old ones, by pushing the lead out, would turn the lead little bit by little bit. Ooh. So you always have a sharp edge.
Oh, dude, this is not sharp. How do you sharpen this?
Wait, you didn't get a little sharpener?
What do you mean?
They have like little ledge things. Yeah, you like pop it out, half an inch.
Yeah.
And then you put it in the little sharpener and just sharpen the end. But I don't even do that anymore. I just leave it like this, and you just draw on the edge and just turn your pencil when it gets dull.
Well, that's what that's what I've been doing. I just thought maybe there was like a better way. This is pretty nice though. This Mitsubishi Uni mechanical pencil. It's really nice.
Yeah. You got the clip on it still, hey?
Yeah. Old school.
I yanked that off.
Why?
I don't like it. I just like an Apple Pencil, sleek.
I like it just in case I need to put it in my pocket protector.
Do you have a... I've never seen you wear like a pocket protector. Yeah, I really like that pencil.
Yeah, it's really good. Because you know what, man? I got back into sketching. Real sketching.
Yeah.
Because you know why?
Because of me, all right?
You started sketching and you got me jealous. And you would constantly badger me about the fact that I wasn't going to have any tangible drawings for my kids to have to look through when I'm dead.
Because you start showing me your old stuff, and it's amazing.
Yeah, thanks.
And then you don't have any from the last few years.
No, I have no drawings, no non-digital drawings from the last like 3 years or so.
You should throw up a photo of some of your sketchbooks.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Which ones? The old ones or the new ones?
Old ones and new ones.
Well, because here's the other thing, right? Contino notebooks are coming. Contino sketchbooks.
Yeah. When are they coming?
As soon as the friggin' paper guy gets back to me and we get this thing all locked up. Because I got production, everything's all set, ready to go. Everything's good to go, ready to go, and it's gonna be sick. It's gonna be like really cool, kind of like pocket sketchbook style, but like a little bit bigger, a little bit different. And then might do, what is it, A6? A5, right? That's what we were doing. The A5, a little bit bigger. Was that like, that's like a 5x8 almost, right?
Yeah. 4x6.
My brain is mush right now.
Yeah, a little bit smaller than this, right?
No, a little bit. Yeah, but no, that size.
Okay. But are you doing it landscape or portrait?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. What do you think? I was going to do
portrait,
landscape, but maybe we should do landscape.
I Yeah, I'm big into landscape.
Nice, right? Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
because I the holidays really screwed it up. So like everyone was on break. So like I was just like I pushed everything out of my brain and I was like, let's just I'll come back to this once everyone is have their feet back on earth again. But it's a good idea. Got a couple of things to throw through there, but those are coming and they're coming soon.
And I like you went staples.
Yeah.
So you can lay them out flat, which is it sounds cheaper. It's weird though because I like specifically now only buy stapled sketchbooks.
Really?
Because I hate not being able to fold out a page flat. I need it to lay flat.
Yeah.
And so like now all my sketchbooks are, and that you put me onto like a few pocketbooks and things like that as well. But
right.
Lay flat staple kind of.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Originally, when I was going to do this the first time, it was called the Tomahawk Notebooks. But I was getting so specific with so many things, and it was just like I kind of let it die because it wasn't working, and I couldn't find someone to do the manufacturing, and everything was such a specialty process. It was going to end up being like, I don't know, I had to order like 30 or 50,000 books or something to be able to make it affordable for anyone to buy. Otherwise, it was going to be like, why do I have to pay you $75 for a 64-page like pocket sketchbook?
Yeah.
And then I kind of let it die for a little bit, and it was getting frustrating, and I was like, forget it, I'm not going to do it. And then we talked about it, and it was good to hear like an outside perspective after I had already been through all the chaos. And it's just like, dude, just put it out, man. Just like, because I was like, maybe we get dot grid, and maybe we do regular grid, and we do this and we do that, and whatever. And it's just like, nah, just make it plain,
Yeah.
So we got a lot of cool colors and stuff like that, and just try to make it something just so it's like fun to draw with. So that's kind of a fun thing to look forward to.
Yeah, and I think you had sent me like a few different names that you're working on, and honestly, the Contino it looked the best too.
Yeah. I think
it felt the best.
Well, one of the things I was playing with was calling it the Troublemaker.
Yeah, that's
which I really
cool
like. Cause
that's really cool.
Because they're just going to be like all different styles and all different colors and stuff like that. So I really kind of liked like the Contino Troublemaker sketchbook. So I might stick with that, but we're gonna be locking that in soon. Like I can't wait for that to become a reality because it's just like I just want my own sketchbooks.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for them.
Yeah.
I order my shit from like the UK.
Yeah, right.
So it'd be nice to.
It's so hard to like find ones that you really, really like, and like sometimes it's actually one of the more fun things as an artist I feel like you can do is, or like when you used to be able to do things, would be like go to like Barnes and Nobles or something like that and go to like the sketchbook section and just like pick up all the things and just like look at them and just some are like, this one's like a journal, and then this one's a pocket sketchbook, and this one's a regular sketchbook, and this one's like a half and half, and this one's got the paper and the this and whatever, and it's like it's always such a pleasant experience to sit there and to like go through different types of sketchbooks and imagine what kind of incredible artwork you'll do in them. And then you buy like 10 of them and you go home and you're just like, I got no ideas. And then they sit in your closet for 4 years, and then you're like, forget it, I'm not drawing ever.
Dude, and then you wreck the first 4. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? That's been a huge thing for me as well, is like just treating them. Like I almost now when I open my first one, I'll scribble whatever in the front. I don't care. Like I'll just do a scribble even.
Yep.
Just to be like, this is shit.
Christen it.
Yeah. Like I'm not doing anything important in this.
I
it's
love
for me.
I the reason why I kind of fell in love with these like shitty cheap pocket sketchbooks is because when I finally discovered how to find my style, it was on printed paper, because I knew that if it sucked, I could crumple it up and throw it in the garbage, and it wouldn't be on the record, like it would just be like no one would ever know that I sucked in that moment. And it was kind of like freeing to just be like, okay, well, this shit sucks and I'm gonna throw it out and no one will be the wiser. But then I kind of like really came to embrace that, and I love like the little pocket notebooks. Like they're cheap enough, you can just throw them out if they suck. But why would you? Because the shit that sucks is kind of the best stuff,
Yeah.
And that's like the most fun to me. And it's like, especially when you just like, you really don't care and you just like doodle whatever. That is so great.
I kind of like to, like, I have a mix of client work and a mix of doodles and a mix of notes. And
that's what I used to do. And I think I feel like I don't mind like doing like client sketches and stuff like that in here, but I kind of almost made it like this one, the latest one that I'm doing right now. I just like, I don't even care what it says or what I draw in here. Like my kids can draw in it if they want. Like literally just like whatever is in my head, I just want to throw in there, finish it as fast as I can, and move on to the next one.
Yeah.
You know?
I also come across like neat like wordsmithing and things like that. And like I always want to like retain it.
Yeah.
And I'll like type it in my phone or something like that, and then it's just like gone forever. But I found if I actually like write it in my sketchbook, it stays with me longer. Or you try to make it kind of like interesting right then.
Yeah, you try to make it
like,
a thing, right? Like
Yeah.
one of the things I did with the old Tomahawk notebooks which is why it took so long, is because I had this idea that the back of the book should have almost like an index. So like if there was something that you wanted to remember like that, you would say on page 15, cool phrases for t-shirts. You would write that on like the page 15 line in the index. And then I showed it to you and I showed it to a couple other people, and everyone was like, that's cool. I'm not going to use it, but it's cool.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's like one of those things where it's like a gimmick. And then people will be like, oh, I'll catalog all my ideas into this book and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, it's one of those things that you write something in there like once and then forget about.
And then also it does take away from like the point of why we're using them, which is like there's no rules.
Yeah, right.
To like what we're doing.
Right. And like it's kind of like more fun to just like open it up and just see like chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and you know what though, that kind of hurts sometimes though, where you do like a few pages where you're like super kind of proud.
Yeah.
A little bit of like your ideas or like how quick and easy those lines came out, and then the next page you flip it and you're like, oh, what the fuck?
It's like, wow, that's garbage.
Yeah. Like, what? How did I go from this to this like so quick?
Who let this no talent hack into my studio?
It's more like who let the talented person in for half a fucking page. Yeah, like I have like
freaking Michelangelo walk in here before. What happened?
And like I don't know, it's just awesome to like flip through and just like I drew out like Aaron's Christmas card thing, like the idea for it in one book, and it's like I'll always, I don't know, it's like weird because you open it and you remember like what you were doing, where you were, kind of thing.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Right. In some of my old sketchbooks too, like I think I stopped in 2016. I think the end of 2016, the beginning of 2017 was when I finished my last one. And I had dates in there, and I was writing like little notes about like shit that was going on, like personal shit and like family stuff, and just kind of like notating like, this happened, or this had like good things, bad things, whatever, And I miss that. I really miss that, and I just want to capture that again.
In this weird way, when I first got the iPad, though, that's what the iPad was for me.
Yeah,
was like I felt like very free. It was very freeing, and for the first like year.
Dude, but that's the problem with it, dude. It is very freeing, and it has all of the elements that make it great. Like, but it doesn't actually exist. Where is it? Like what, like what's gonna happen? Like and I think maybe 2020 and just everything that was going on kind of made everybody think a little bit more about like the future and shit like that. And it certainly hit me like when we would talk about it, because it was just like, okay, say for instance, I croak, knock on wood, I'm out of here. And my kids get older and they're going through my stuff and they're looking at my sketchbooks and this and that and whatever. And, I'm going to have an iPad laying there that the battery's dead and they don't have a charger because, USB-C hasn't existed for 25 years. How are they going to
It's like all your old cell phones, man.
Yeah.
Before you were like taking photos off it and stuff, and you're like, I'll keep my phone. Do you know how many phones I have sitting in the drawer behind me that like I don't even have chargers for?
I know. It's like one day I'll be able to figure out how to get the shit off of there.
Yeah. And it's like that day's never going to come.
I know. And then I think about like kind of like when we did the standard memorandums, like the whole reason that we wanted to do them was because my wife's great grandfather kept those little pocket journals with him at all times, and he would use it as a date book. He would use it as a thing, things that happen, like, I owe Mike $5, or and then the one that really got us was when he wrote in his book the day that Hitler was reported as dead.
Which is so awesome.
Dude, it's so sick. It's like Hitler dead, blah blah blah, whatever, and it's just like so matter of fact, and it's only a few words, and it's like I don't have that for the past 3 years. I didn't write down that my youngest daughter was born. I didn't draw in the hospital when I was waiting, and it's like shit like that. I don't have any of that, and it kills me that I stopped doing it for those years.
Yeah, man. Even think about it. Like, you stop there and you like take a photo with your camera. Mm-hmm. Even that, you just like, it's gone. And it's like, that's what our drawings are becoming. Just
I do a little bit better with the photos, because at the end of every year, I make a photo book of like the best photos of 2020, or of like of the year, of me and my wife and my kids. So like we have like little family albums for every year. Like I'll throw like 200 or 300 pictures in each one, and I print them, and I just make sure that we have like these. So I've been doing it for 8 years, I think.
Yeah.
So like I have 8 years worth of these books so like every year we have like, 300 pictures of everything that happened in this year, and then this year, and this. So at least that is tangible.
Yeah.
So I've kind of saved that a little bit.
But do you find, well, I guess that's probably better, because you're not just snapping photos. You're kind of conscious of they might be used somehow.
No, after. I'm totally still snapping photos, but there's definitely like, the thing is too, is like, I think maybe with, being a father, I'm constantly like framing out shots and like making sure like my kids look really cool, or like it's a beautiful picture, or it's like really emotional or something like that. So like I'll always just kind of like frame it the way, I feel like I want to remember that moment, and it gets to live on in these books, and it's cool because like, it's like I use Artifact Uprising, and it's like they make really high quality shit, and you can do like these really beautiful spreads, and the paper is gorgeous, and like everything is like really, really nice. So it's like,
is it a bunch of photos on one page, or is it just like one photo per page?
I'll do like a spread, and then I'll do like 2, and then I'll do like a whole like collage, and it's like you can really kind of go crazy with it. So like it's interesting to look through too, and like I'll pair like a bunch of stuff that actually like from like a day or like an event or something that's like related, and I try to keep them relatively chronologically spaced out,
Yeah, if not, it's year to year.
Yeah, it's tough, but it's just like it's got like a little bit of a narrative to it, So it's like at least there's that. But like from the creative perspective, I got nothing, man. I got old digital fake shit that like exists in some cloud somewhere,
And how much do I not care about? Like, I used to love getting like the final designs and things like that.
Yeah, right.
But what I love more is like the process.
The process.
Yeah,
always the process.
It's way more rewarding to like show people.
That's like all like the older House Industries book had a lot of sketches and shit in it, and like I had always loved House Industries because they loved type, and they loved hardcore, and it was just like they had like all these like badass like hot rod shit and all this all this stuff that was like just really fun and cool and 60s style and kind of grotesque and outrageous, but they always had pencil drawings of everything that they did.
Yeah.
And I love that. Like everyone always loves pencil drawings better than a final. Everybody does that. I've never seen anyone who is just like, I'm not interested in the process.
Yeah.
Everybody wants the process.
Although we hit that point where it was just like artificial process.
Yeah.
And I hated seeing that shit.
Yeah.
Where it was like they took a final design and then traced the final design into their sketchbook. It's like, what?
The only thing worse than that, I think, is like the fake logo line art.
Oh.
You know what I mean? In order to make this square logo, we took 4 circles and put them next to each other and then traced the lines at blah, blah, like all that geometric bullshit that's so unnecessary.
You know which ones I love though is when it's like insane amounts of circles and shit. When it's not even like the Apple logo is like, at least it's like 4 circles or whatever to like make this logo. When they have like 20 circles and like lines intersecting and stuff, it's like, what?
Yo, actually, no. My favorite one is when, Like, say, for instance, the logo is like the letter A, right? It's like a letter A slab serif or something like that. And that's the logo. Yeah. And then, but then, like, they'll always like go in and they'll type the letter A and it'll be like, I don't know, like Clarendon or something like that. That's all it is. But then they'll go in and they'll show how they built the letter A. And I'm like, you didn't build that letter A. Like using like the little circle, like to kind of get that, the slope in the straight line into the serif. I'm like, you didn't fucking do that. You typed the letter A on your keyboard. You called it a day.
You image trace that thing. And then you hit like outline font. And then have you seen like the one where it's like 2 images and it'll be like a letter plus an apple.
Yeah.
And then it'll show the logo and it's like an A with like a apple. And you're like, what the fuck? Like you're just telling me you combine these two things and there's your logo. Like what?
Like it's like it's not easy to make something simplistic and memorable, but sometimes people do themselves a disservice by making it seem too simplistic, where it's just like, okay, like the more interesting thing is how many times did you draw an A and a plus over and over and over again until you came to that. It's not just like, oh, here's an A and here's a plus and here's a little animation to show how they come together. You know what I mean?
It's like, turns out simple isn't actually what we do. You know how everyone, what's that famous quote from simplifying, it's our job to simplify something complex.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes people just take something simple and make it simple, and that's not what we're supposed to do.
It's really it's really disheartening when you see that. And it's, people complain about like, things like Fiverr and shit like that, and I give them a little bit of credit because they have done a lot of stuff in the past to try and like change their image and do things to help other people. But like when those things started, it's like pay $5 and you get whatever, or like the Squarespace logo generator or whatever. But like, there are people out there that are just doing it themselves when they're trying to like show off a case study, and they're making it seem just as cheap and easy as that. So it's like you're at least that's saying like, hey, you're getting a $5 value out of this. But like you're saying like, here's my case study, but this is how easy it is. You seem like more of a scam artist than the other way around.
That's because I used to be angry about Fiverr and like about people lowballing and stuff like that. Right. And then I think you do reach a point where it's like, if a client is truly going to pay $5 for a logo,
they're going to get a $5 logo.
Yeah, but even if they don't, even if I was going to give them a really, really good logo, they wouldn't know it.
Right.
So they're not there to like, they're just looking for something cheap.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. And everyone's always looking for a deal. But like, as professionals, like the last thing that we should do is make things seem so simple that everyone's like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Because you can. I mean, that's like and man, as Brent the intern, you understand that there's still a lot of learning to do, and it's not just like you can't just like copy something and call it a day. Like you have years and years and years to understand how to simplify and why to make things seem easier than they are. And the hardest part is to learn how to break things down to the simplest form so that people find it easy to recreate. Like that's your job, is to make something that's easy to recreate.
Yeah. Within if not literally recreate, like within their mind's eye or whatever.
Right. Right. Like whenever we do a branding project, I always tell the client, like, I want the logo to be something that a kid could scribble on the back of their high school notebook.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I mean, think about those logos like AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, Rolling Stones, like all of those stick in your head.
Yeah.
And you drew them on your binder and things like that, or like Slayer, or
absolutely. The ones that are just like so fun to draw. That's what you want,
That's the problem too, though, is like, I feel like in school I was doing that, and then I got out and started working in the industry, and the industry almost puts you into a place where maybe it's because I had to learn how to actually just design, and not actually like how to functionally design or whatever, just make things,
right.
But I kind of lost a little bit along the way, like making things conceptually heavy or in any sense. And I feel like I've maybe just started to pull back towards that now.
Yep.
Where.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what happens, right? You try to like overthink, you try to overcompensate, you try to do things that are super, super special. It's like when I was doing the book, I tried to make the book cover like the most mind-blowing shit you've ever seen in your life. Like if you walked past it on a shelf, like your eyes would just melt out of your socket, you know?
Yeah.
Like you would just be like, oh my God. But all it did was just make me absolutely miserable. And then at the end, I had to like submit something, and I just did what came naturally to me, and it was perfect. It was just what I should have done in the first place.
It became a meme.
It became a meme, yeah.
Realistically. You know, everyone's slapping the hand and stuff
Everybody's
like that.
Slapping the hand. Damn, man. If only I had plans for that. It's kind of
But
amazing.
that's why it's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so funny. I didn't even think about it. And it's like it's just one of those things where it's just like, holy shit, that's so cool that everyone latched onto that.
Yeah.
You know? That was a cool thing.
But you know what? You know what's the worst?
What's that?
Is that somebody's seen that, and now somebody's implementing that into, like, how do I get people to follow that same? Yeah. You know what I mean, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In this very disingenuous way of like, maybe the best thing about that is like discovery in this weirdest way is that it wasn't intended.
Discovery, I think, is always the best part. And you know, man, dude, this brings up something else too. Did you ever see the site called Lookwork?
No.
Okay, you're missing out.
Is it dead?
A couple of friends of mine designed this site called Lookwork, and what it is, it was kind of like it came after Found, Found, you know, but before Pinterest. And what it was basically an image saving website. You know, like you save it, and you know, like you tag it, you know, illustration, sneakers, ocean, whatever, typography. You tag it and you make your collections. But what it had that was so special was an RSS reader that only pulls in images. So you go to any blog or Instagram feed or anything like that, and what it does is it scrapes the images out of everything. So when you go to the homepage, it's just like a big collection of images of all random shit. And you click it and it pops up in like a modal window, and it'll be like, this is from, you know, whatever, this website, and it's blah, 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 a little blurb of like the excerpt from the blog entry. And then you can click it and it goes to the site. But like literally it's just every single picture. So like if you subscribe to like a tech magazine and there's an article about the new iPad, there'll be like 4 pictures.
It's just photos of iPad.
And it'll just
like a portal to.
Yep.
So you use it as like a. That's awesome,
dude.
And that doesn't exist now.
It like kind of exists, but they don't maintain it, I think. And for some reason, that idea has never been picked up on by anybody. And it's just like,
that's awesome.
It's like it would be like the greatest thing. I think what happened was that they were a little ahead of their time, and I don't think people were ready for it, and I don't think it made sense to them. But now there's so many like image collecting services, you know, beyond Pinterest and all that kind of stuff. There's so many different things, and no one's ever tried it again. And I don't know why. I know that they had like a little trouble with some of the stuff, but like it still works. Like the account that I have is still running, and it's still pulling in like images and stuff like that, and it's amazing. It's like, it's for people.
I wonder if there's not like a problem. If maybe there's a problem now with pulling images off sites that are like protected and things like that.
I don't know, because like even what you could do is just like the images could be pulling in from the RSS, right? And then you could just have like little buttons: save to Pinterest, save to Dropmark, save to whatever. You know, like it doesn't even have to be. All it has to be is just pulling in the feeds. That's all it needs to be. You know.
And I used to use a thing exactly that, which was called Wookmark.
What was it called?
Wookmark.
Wook?
WOOKMARK.
Never heard of it.
And the website now is 2011 to 2019. Inspiration lives on. And that's exactly what it was. Kind of similar. It would just pull images as well, but it was more like Pinterest based.
Oh, was it kind of like a design inspiration type of site?
Yeah, it was.
See,
but it became everything.
You put your own feeds into this,
like your own websites.
Yeah. So you go in and you
Yeah,
say,
that's so
I want to look at, brand new. I want to look at The Verge. I want to look at whatever, Uniwatch or whatever. And you take the RSS feeds and you throw them in there. But they also had like curated sections for like illustration, and they would have like 30 different sites, and then there would be like tech, and there would be graphic design, and there would be, whatever, cool pictures, photography, and you could pick and choose, and it was a really, really amazing thing. And it just, I wish that was, because
says here I can still sign up.
well, it's like see if you can, because it was when it came out. I remember we were talking about it. I was talking with the guys who made it, and I was like, the thing I love about it is like it feels like discovery again, because at the time there was also user accounts, so you can like befriend people on it, and like the things that they would save would also go into your feed. So you would just get this big amalgamation of like all this like really cool shit. And it was awesome. It was really awesome, but doesn't exist. They kind of redid it, and then that wasn't a part of it anymore. And it's just like,
yeah, because I'm not seeing like where you can input websites and things like that anymore. I don't
think you can anymore. I think it's just there. But
that
like,
sucks.
it was a cool method of discovery, which, like it's so hard to have that feeling of discovery. Like when I was a kid, and we would go to like record stores before like the internet, and you would just like look through and be like, this has a cool cover. This has a cool cover. What the hell is this? And you just like find really weird stuff, and like some things you would buy because it looked cool, and then other things you wouldn't buy because it looked shitty, and then turns out that's like the better record than the one that looked cool. And it was like that whole process of like getting burned, but also finding like your new favorite thing. And
I miss that.
I miss it so much.
Oh man, I used to go to like the bookstore and just look through books. It wasn't even like you weren't taking anything home.
No,
you're just sitting there
buy anything. You just want to look.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's completely lost.
Yeah, that's because any of those, I don't know if there's any kind of internet equivalent to that.
Isn't it funny how the internet has lost that completely, like in every facet?
Yeah.
Like YouTube has just become like push content of like what you should be watching kind of thing, or
I absolutely am so sick of these friggin' algorithms where it's just like, this is what we think you would like. Like, let me find weird shit.
Yeah, because it was just like, do you remember when YouTube was like just
the
insanity?
Wild West?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss that.
Yeah. Even like Instagram. Like I complain about Instagram all the time, but they keep, every time there's another social media platform that comes up and is successful and they steal it, they just keep like now, like when I go, because a lot of what I would do is I don't even look at the Instagram feed anymore of the people I follow, because it literally shows me the same 3 images for like 2 weeks straight. You know? And so I would go to like the explore page all the time, but now it's got like the TikTok knockoff thing on there. So it's just like people just like dancing constantly. Like I've never looked up people doing dance moves in front of their phone.
No, but you click on one, and now you're just gonna fed it.
It's taken over my entire phone. Like all it is just like people dancing into their phone now, and I don't know how to get rid of it.
Yeah. That's the thing that sucks is, and maybe this is only a problem for us or designers and things like that, is like the fact that we don't want to see the things that we just like, if that makes sense. Like, I don't want to just see animation and design. Yeah.
You know? Like
that's what's weird.
It requires work, but it doesn't require the type of work. It doesn't require falling down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Even Tumblr used to be that back in the day. It was just like, oh, this is a cool picture, and then it was just like linked by like 40 different people posted from this, and this, and you would click on each one, and they would all have like all these different kind of assortments of different visuals and shit, and you would just be like, whoa, this is sick, this is sick, this is sick. But there's almost like everything is like so spoon-fed to you now, you can't even find anything accidentally anymore,
I know, and how excited do you get like when I find something that I know isn't just on like a design trend or Pinterest design board or something like that. It just, you're like, it feels great.
Yeah, it's
but
exciting.
You're like, where do you go to find that more? Like more of that?
I don't even know. We would, like.
Did you just hear what I said? Where do you go to find more?
I don't know where you go to find more. I wish I did.
Where do you go to find more of that?
Like we would always do like antique stores and old bookstores and shit like that. But like after a while, you kind of get sick. Like you don't always want to just see things from like the 20s to the 50s.
Yeah.
Like sometimes you want to see like other weird shit from like the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s or whatever. Like you just want to see stuff that's different, or not even stuff that's old and used, just like something that's not what you see every day.
Yeah. But that's become impossible, man. The internet. This guy said to me today, the great equalizer. Makes everyone the same, you know?
Yeah,
the internet.
For sure. It's something like that. It's you know, and it's even into music, right? Like when I was a kid and I discovered hardcore, and I would go to shows. Like I went to shows because I stumbled into one place by accident once, and I found a flyer, and the flyer was cool, and I was like, hey, this is happening Saturday at 2 p.m. I'm not doing anything. Let me go and find out what it is. And then there's a bunch of weird kids listening to weird music and doing weird stuff, and I was like, I like this. And then you would meet somebody, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to this town to go see this other one. And then you go there, and then all of a sudden, you're part of a thing, and you're discovering, and there's music, and there's merchandise, and there's people, and there's events, and there's places to travel to, and there's all these, it's a whole world that you get to discover. And like for me personally, I worry that my kids will never get that. You know, there's what scene will they ever find?
That's the weird thing, right? Is the internet at one point was like, if you're weird and you don't fit in, it was a great place where it's like you can find like-minded people. But at some point, does that become like you're not pushed to go and discover and go and find that weird group that you fit into? Do you know what I mean? Like it's just there.
That's kind of a shame too. It's like where do all the weird kids go? You know? Like, is everything, because especially now with social media and shit, like, everything has to look perfect.
Yeah.
So where is it, like, where do you go when you're weird and you're different? Like, what do you, like, I'm sure that there's place you fucking click a hashtag and you can find your like-minded people that way, but, like, really?
Yeah.
Like, that's how
I hate hashtags. Yeah. I was just talking to my brother about this the other day. I was like, I remember when I lost my phone in a park that we were like walking through at night.
Yeah.
And it was like, we got home and it was like, whatever, we'll just go back in a few hours when we're done doing whatever we're doing.
Yeah.
And we'll call it and we'll try to look for the light. There was like no panic about like not having this connection.
Yeah.
And now it's like, man, if I'm like, where did I put my phone? You know what I mean?
I know.
Where's my connection to it? I complain about Instagram so much, and yet when I have a spare second, I'll just like open up Instagram,
dude,
and scroll.
I know. I talk about it all the time. Like when we were kids and we used to go to Penn Station, like to get on the train after we were hanging out in the city all night or something like that, and we would get on the train to go home. You would sit in Penn Station at like 2 o'clock in the morning, 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, waiting for the next train to come, which was not going to come for like another 2 hours. Because like I think like the last train was like 2 or 3 or something, and then the next train after that was like 5. So there was just like a dead zone. So if you missed the 2, you had to wait until the first morning train. And a lot of times we would just sit there, and you would just sit with your back against one of the columns, and like people would be passed out on the floor, and then other people would be like eating a slice of pizza at like 4:45 a.m. and it'd be all like weird shit. But then if you didn't have someone with you who was also awake, you just sat there and stared at the wall, or just like watched people sleep, or like every now and again someone would get off like the Amtrak train coming in from like Delaware or Jersey or something like that, and be like, oh, there's some people with suitcases, and then you would just be like, okay, and that was the entertainment. Like if I had to spend more than 5 minutes without my phone sitting someplace, I think I would like try to find like the nearest like rope to hang myself with.
Yeah, and you know what? I mean? You know what I love people watching, and like and now because of COVID, I don't do this, but I would go pick Aaron up from work, and usually she'd take like 20-30 minutes to come out.
Yeah.
And you know how much I love just sitting there watching?
People watching is the best.
Yeah, and I've tried to force myself to do this now. Is like when I'm out, like at a coffee shop, which I haven't been in forever, but like and you're waiting, I'll try to just leave my phone in my pocket and just, it feels so awkward.
Yeah.
It's the,
it doesn't it?
yeah, it's like I'm not allowed to be looking at these people make my coffee.
It's almost just like someone will walk by you and be like, "Bro, what's the matter? You looking at me? Why can't you look at your phone?"
Yeah, or like, what are you a weirdo?
What are you, a freak?
Why are you just standing there?
Why aren't you checking all your social accounts right now?
Why are you standing in this line for a coffee doing nothing? It does. It feels yeah, you know what? 2021. I don't make New Year's resolutions, but I'm going to if I go get coffee, I'm not taking my phone. No, I'm definitely taking my phone with me. How am I supposed to listen to podcasts?
I was just gonna say, for a couple of guys who don't make New Year's resolutions, we've already made a lot.
And just like everyone else, we're going to accomplish none of them. This will be the first and last podcast people listen to.
This is it, man. Soak it up. You know what's really bad, and this one really hurts me. Like when we're sitting at like the kitchen table, and it's like the morning, and my wife and I are exhausted, and the kids are eating breakfast or something. Like my oldest will be watching her iPad. My wife will be like reading the news. I'll be like looking at email or something, and then the little one is just like, it's like taking her little fork and like jamming like a pancake into the side of her face or something like that, you know?
Yeah.
But then like I look around and we're like all on devices, and I'm just like, oh, and I put mine down because I'm just like, okay, another human being besides my little baby girl has to like not be using a piece of technology right now. You know what I mean?
Turns out she's the smartest one there.
Oh, she definitely. Yeah,
or she's living the most.
Yeah,
she's living the most.
She's experiencing life more than we are, and it's. I mean, she's the texture of the pancake, the stabbing of the fork, everything's right there.
But then, I don't think because I've thought about this too. Then is like completely leaving social media. I don't want to do that.
I mean, I do want to do that, but you just can't. Like in our world, like you have even if you want to leave it, you can't because we're still creating assets for it.
Yeah.
You know? So we can't do it. We're stuck. We're fucked. We're stuck in it. I got a friend of mine who was in a band, and he texted me. He was like, "Yo, dude," he's like, "I'm done. I'm done. I'm checking out." And he deleted all of his social accounts. And I just talked to him the other day, and he did it a couple months ago. He's like, "I feel great." He's like, "I feel like a weight has been lifted off of me."
And I mean, I quit Instagram for 3 months.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
How'd that work out for you?
I felt like I was like living a better life. But then but then instantly kind of just went right back after 3 months.
Yeah. Well, you're a toxic person. That's why. You're.
Yeah. Wait, isn't that why I got off Instagram? Because I was so angry at everybody all the time when I'd look at Instagram.
You know what's
and
really...
then I started using it again to be toxic.
Oh, on purpose.
Yeah. I had to get on it to talk shit.
I wonder if anyone was ever just like, if anyone would see you like talking shit and would come to me and just be like, "John, what's the deal with Brent?" I'd be like, "He's a sociopath," and they'd be like, "Yeah, but why is he talking shit?" I'd be like, "He's a sociopath. Like, what more? What do you need? What do you need me to tell you? Like, he's a crazy person." And they're like, "Are you cool with that?" I'm like, "He does his work. He's a sociopath that does his work. Like, what's the problem?"
Listen, he always gets his work done. He shows up.
Need jobs too.
He's punctual. He's
Have
good.
You not listened to the podcast?
Of course, he's gonna try to kill you.
You don't understand. Like, he enjoys it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone would ever come to you because people are smart enough, I think, to know like it's my gripe or whatever.
Yeah. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit what you do. I mean, as long as you don't dishonor the family, then you can go and do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. I'm not your dad.
Yeah.
As far as I know. Hey-oh.
You know what? That took a long time.
I couldn't find the button. Oh man, whatever. I got the job done.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess social media generally just does make me angry, though. Like across the board, makes me a worse person.
Here's a question for you. This is a serious question, and I think we both know the answer to this.
Mm-hmm.
In 2020, what was more dangerous to human beings, COVID-19 or social media?
Social media.
Like by a lot, right?
Yeah. And also the misinformation and things like that.
Yeah. Because it made everything worse. It made everything worse for everybody. Like there's like it took, even with COVID. Like imagine COVID before social media. I don't know if it would be half as bad as it is now.
No, because even if you want to be a conspiracy theorist and say that they're pushing a lie, which let's just say that let's say 100% they're pushing a lie and they want us to wear masks,
right,
and stay in our houses. But that would be the only message out there.
That would be it.
So you wouldn't have messages, which sometimes that's a bad thing, but also like at least we wouldn't have this huge widespread, like everybody. I mean, I get it. I don't trust the government either. Right. I don't trust anybody though.
I mean, you shouldn't. You shouldn't trust anybody. You only trust the people that you know that you can trust. Like not just like random strangers because they're in a position of power. Like fuck everybody, you know?
Yeah. And then at some point, like, well, like people are so quick to be like, well, I read this, and it's like you read an article online.
Yep, written by another dumbass human being.
Yeah, it's like go read like 15 books on it, and then like 15 books with like opposing ideas and things like that, and then tell me about it. Right. Because I mean, I'm not even confident to like. I mean, you've talked about this. I'm not like an authority on design. I don't want to speak about design or like but it's like I definitely know a lot more about design than I know about COVID-19, but yet for some reason I would be more willing to like spew some shit about like why you should wear a mask.
Yeah.
Than about why you should not use that fucking typeface.
Exactly. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. And it's what's really funny too is the way that information came out with all this stuff. It used to be that when there was important information, it would be filtered through various official agencies before it got to us. But like this time around, I never read an article from like the CDC or the WHO or anything like that about some shit that I didn't already read on Twitter or something like that, like 2 hours before. You know? Like the CDC would put out an alert and be like, okay, well, you got to wear masks and blah, blah, blah. Like, I read that article like friggin' 2 days ago. Like, I know that.
It's like somebody internally it's like that's what happens. It just gets leaked like before anything can happen.
Yeah, because information moves so fast. You're just like, oh God, like fucking whatever. Like it just everyone's getting it at the same time. It doesn't matter if you're an official, a not official, a child. Like everyone's hearing the same thing simultaneously. So it's just like you're not getting any kind of like, like professional opinions about it for you to just be like, oh, well, that's what they told me. You're getting like non-professional opinions. You're getting random facts. You're getting all this shit that you don't know what to do with. And then a professional comes out and tells you something and you're just like, I don't know.
That's not what the YouTube channel just told me. That's...
Don't get the vaccine, kids. It'll turn you crazy. Fucking 30 million views.
2020 was the death of, and I mean, this has been a long time coming, but like redemption. Like you're not allowed to be wrong. If you are wrong, you're done forever.
Yeah.
You better not have obviously we're fighting this thing that nobody knows anything about and we're learning about daily.
Right.
And they're like, oh, it turns out we were wrong about this. And people are like, why would we listen to you now?
Dude, you know what the best part about it is that your girlfriend is an epidemiologist.
Well, she works in an epidemiologist lab.
Right. So she legitimately knows what she's talking about. And it was always at the beginning, I would always like ask you, I was like, well, what does Aaron think about this? And what like whatever. And you would be like, well, she said it's like this and people think this and blah, blah, blah. Like actual science, like real deal, like analyzing and coming up with, reasons for why things are the way they are. And then it's just like, you'll read an article and it's just like someone just like spouting nonsense. And you're just like, oh man, we're doomed, aren't we?
Yeah. And like, that's the thing is like, who's not writing these articles? Erin and her coworkers.
Yeah, right.
None of them are writing these articles. Ask Erin how many articles she wrote this year on COVID-19. None.
Zero. Absolutely zero.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it's weird too, because like she works in like social epidemiology, but trying to tell people what she did like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, oh, she was an epidemiologist. They're like, huh?
And it's like, what is
like,
that? Is that something with frogs? What is that?
Yeah. Whatever it is, who cares? It's not important to us. It will never be important to us.
She studies like how to put makeup on frogs. Is that what she does? That's cool.
Yeah. Might as well have been that, right? And now everyone's like, if I say that, she works in an epidemiology lab, it's like, oh, yeah, I know what that is.
Yeah. Right.
Oh, I know.
She's where lies come from.
Oh, so she's the one that's putting out the misinformation vaccine, huh? The vaccine that's going to control. You know what's funny too is like, don't they say that vaccine is like going to control, or not control, but they'll be able to monitor where you go.
Yeah, yo, get me some of that.
What you think, what you like, you know what I mean? What you think and things like that. It's like, really, because I carry that around in my fucking pocket everywhere I go.
Oh, dude, I know. And I love hearing that joke. It's just like the people who are just like so obsessed with Facebook, who are just like, don't take this because they'll know what you're doing, where you're going, and what you're thinking. It's just like, no, you're telling everybody those things. Like,
you just posted
it by yourself.
Yeah, at Walmart right now.
And you know what's really crazy too? Like when there was like the Boston Marathon bombers, I think is when you really saw what we have to be scared of one another. So it's just like, okay, these two fucking maniacs like set a bomb and hurt and a lot of people. It was really terrible. And then everyone using their phones and all the videos that were uploaded from people's phones and all that shit. Like, the government doesn't have to install spy cameras everywhere. We are our own spy cameras. Everyone is just spying on each other constantly.
Yeah.
And there's an archive on the internet that is easy to find within minutes. You can find out anything that's happening within minutes. Just, you can
just use a hashtag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Also, didn't the internet, Reddit kind of, and I can't remember if this was not true or not, but I believe Reddit was when they were trying to find out who
they misidentified people, I think, right?
Yeah, and I think didn't the person end up killing themselves?
Did they? Dude.
Because of being misidentified and like
how many people have killed themselves because of like some internet harassment?
Oh.
Like
a lot.
It's like, that is insane. That's insane. That's a sci-fi movie from 1984.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's just like, oh, in the future, the internet will make you kill yourself, and you're just
like, no, the TV box.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. The TV box will be connected to a mainframe, and that mainframe will force you to kill yourself, and you're just like, yo, science fiction is stupid.
Yeah, and then
here we are.
Reality.
Yeah.
Man. So that's what we got to look forward to in 2021, I guess.
Well, that was kind of like a 2020 recap. That was like a real deal 2020 recap.
Yeah, we didn't even mean to do that.
No.
Or did we?
Ooh. 2021 is all about mystery.
Yeah. No. What if this is our last podcast ever?
Don't say that.
It's not.
Every podcast is basically our last podcast ever. Yo, we were doing real good at the beginning, though, right? Like, we were doing like once a week, sometimes 2 times. Like, we were pros.
I think we're back on it.
We're there.
This is technically our second.
We're recording on Tuesday night. This stuff is going to come out on Wednesday morning. And then we're going to have maybe a Monday morning. Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe a Sunday night.
Who can judge? It's not me. Not for me to judge. I mean,
if anyone would know when the next one comes out, it's not us.
Don't look at me. I can't tell you when. I love when people online are just like, yo, when's the next podcast coming out? I'm like, your guess is as good as mine.
I've been pulling, like, we pull questions through that we get through the email. And I've been pulling the same one for weeks, which is like, when's the next podcast coming out?
Yo, you know what's really funny is like it's just like, so when we were more regular, we would get to whichever questions we can get to, and then we'd always have spillover, and we try to use them in the next week and blah blah blah. Looking back at like the last batch of questions that we had, it's so dated. It's just like not even like quarantine related shit. It's just like, hey, I want to go do this around a lot of people. What do you recommend? Like.
What's your favorite airline?
Yeah. I was thinking of spitting in my friend's mouth. Thoughts?
Oh man. Yeah, that's so we're definitely gonna commit. We did on Instagram Live. I'm
committed. I'm all in. This is it, baby.
We committed on Instagram Live.
Yep.
50 plus this year.
Yep.
Joe Rogan.
It once a week. Maybe we'll miss one here or there, but mostly once a week.
Maybe twice.
Maybe twice a week. Who knows if we're feeling generous. But we said this on Instagram Live too, but not everybody listened or watched it. I think we're gonna try and do some special episodes too. Some of them are gonna be like video stuff, but what we want to do is almost like a somewhat mystery science theater-y type thing for like music videos or movies and stuff like that, but like from a design perspective and like a creative perspective, and just kind of like Beavis and Butthead it a little bit, and do some goofy commentary on some shit that people like basically take like Twitter design world, but like make it less acidic and just like have fun with it and not be so fucking angry at like rebrands and stuff like that,
Yeah. I think when we talk about design, if we go back, it's probably a time where we're least angry or like disgusted with people.
Yeah, because you know what? It's like everyone's putting effort into it.
Yeah.
And we don't want to just shit on the effort, because it's like we've all done garbage. We just want to have fun with it. So we're gonna try that out, and we'll see how that works. We'll do like some video stuff. Maybe if there's some stuff that everyone's seen, we can let that be a pretty reliable audio version too. But we're gonna try some of that stuff and spice it up a little bit, since we missed. We had a really good Halloween episode planned, and we blew that. So we're going to try and bring some of these things back. But I don't know, man. That was pretty good. That was a nice little recap.
Yeah.
Talked about some stuff. Yeah. Talked about some design. Talked about some life.
Everything.
Everything. The little nose fairy paid us a visit. And here we are, first episode of 2021 in the first week of 2021. I thought the first episode of 2021 was going to be at least March.
Even tonight, it came close.
It almost did. And it was like, no, we're doing it, and we're here.
Yeah.
But listen, we're back. I think I've said this on the past like 4 or 5 episodes. Let's do some more questions. Like, if people are listening, if you got some more questions, let's hit us up. So you can go to we're gonna redo the website and stuff, make everything a little bit more easier, and just like whatever. Send some questions on nosecast.com and hit us up. We're gonna start collecting some more. We're gonna start getting back to real life. And hit us up. I just actually got a new batch of books too. So if you want to go to CantinoBook.com and you haven't picked up your copy of Brand by Hand, go do that. We also have CantinoWorkshop.com. Check that out. There's going to be a new class up this year, finally, on the business of creativity. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future. And then check us out at Cantino Studio on Instagram. We're gonna have, I think that's part of our resolution, right? We were gonna do podcasts, and we were gonna keep case studies and work updated. Because I think you said it best. I sent you some of the work files for some of the shit in the past like year or two, and you were just like, I'm gonna start posting shit on Instagram for us. And then what was when I sent you the files of finished work? What was your response?
I was like, where did all this come from? Like, I've never. How come this has never seen the light of day?
There's so much work that it's just like, once it's done, and I forget about it.
Yeah, it's like a lot of studio work, a lot of like your work, a lot of like
tons of shit. Nothing gets shared because I'm just working. I don't even worry about it. So we're gonna keep that shit a little bit more updated. And we hate social media, but like, whatever. We got a website.
John's gonna post once a day.
Once a day. I'll post once a day. It'll be me dancing into the camera from that like TikTok thing on Instagram.
Should we start a TikTok?
Yeah. I don't know what to do on TikTok. Do you?
I got a friend that just started reviewing comic books on TikTok, and he just takes an old comic book and explains the story in like some cool whatever.
How long can you make a video on TikTok?
I don't know. I think is there 15 seconds or 20 seconds or something like that?
I want to do that. I'm going to do that.
You want to do that?
What should I explain in 15 seconds or less on TikTok?
This guy's getting 50K followers.
The nose reviews. What am I reviewing?
Oh. You could just review fonts and you could just be like garbage and like really.
Comic Sans. Love it.
Good.
Papyrus. Beautiful.
Avatar.
Really, just like blow people's minds. They're like, oh my God.
He's right.
He's absolutely I've been looking at it all wrong this whole time. Okay. So maybe keep an eye out for that Contino TikTok account that's going to be blowing up. No, probably not. You got any parting words, Brent?
Never.
You never do. Fucking useless piece of shit.
Stay up! A frozen brain dead paralyzed the truth!